Luke Shaw, are you able to update on their issues and the severity and the timescales they're facing?
Yeah, so Harry, he will not be available for coming games, but we don't think it's a long term. And Luke Shaw, he trained this morning, so we think he's available for Sunday.
And in terms of the rest of the team, you seem to have quite a lengthy absentee list. Is there anyone else going to be available back from illness or injury?
Yes, Marcus Rashford. Martial not.
Samuel.
Do you know who your captain's going to be on Sunday with Bruno suspended?
Yes, I know.
Are you going to tell us?
No.
And going back to the Anfield game last season, obviously it was a bad day. The win percentage of the team seems to have fallen drastically since then compared to before it. Do you think there's been a psychological effect of that result, that defeat?
Oh, I think everyone knows. I think everyone is highly motivated when you go to Anfield. It's a great place to go, and you know it's going to be tough. And I think that is everything what every top footballer wants. He wants to have that challenge. So you have to looking forward. And last year, of course, we take that in our memory. But you have to also take the benefit from it, learn from it. And on Sunday, we can prove that.
Dave.
Eric, you'll know managers are ultimately judged by the results of their teams. What gives you the confidence that you have the backing of everybody here at the club still, despite the difficult run of results that you've had this season?
I feel that, and they tell it against me. But actually, and that's fine, and that's okay. But I'm focusing on the process. I'm focusing on to make this team play better. I'm focusing on make the individuals better, and that's my concern. And that's all what I'm doing, focusing on the right thing, and that is the team.
So you can't get distracted by concern about your job or whatever, or whether you might lose your job.
No, but there's no concern, because I'm here to win, and I have to make the team play better. And if you play good, even then I say good is not good enough. And so now we are inconsistent. So I have to work on that. The team is going to play in a for longer periods in a higher level.
Simon.
Eric, you brought Rasmus in for a lot of money, and he's not scored in the Premier League. I know he's scored in the Champions League, but are you giving him enough support? Is the team providing him with enough support? Because he doesn't look as though he's going to score at the moment.
As you said, he scored on the highest level. Champions League, 5 goals. It's a massive performance. Massive performance from a young player. I don't think there are so many young players who can do that. So you see, he has the potential, and we recognize that, and I'm sure he will get there. He will also going to score in the Premier League. I see how he's working in the training. We have to work on our attacking game, but I think he had his opportunities. Also the team bring him in the right place. But it can always be better, and as you say, he didn't score so far in the Premier League, so we have to work on that.
Eric, how much do you envy Liverpool? Because at the moment they're top of the league, they've only lost once, they've been able to rest players in midweek, unlike yourselves, they've not got as many injuries. How much do you envy them? Because they're perhaps where maybe you want to be.
Oh yeah, they're playing good, no doubt, but we have some more tough games in the last period. So Bayern is also a very good team, and so we have seen we can go head to head with them. So that is our challenge for Sunday as well.
Do you worry? Are you a manager who's starting to worry with the injuries and with the trip to a team like Liverpool? Are you a worrier?
No, that we will put out a team who can challenge, a team who is confident to win that game, and yeah, we're preparing the team in the best way we can, and we are confident that we put out a team who can win there.
Jamie.
Given the 7-0 humiliation, because it was humiliation last year, a lot of people are asking me, do you think, Eric, do you think the team would take maybe a 1 or a 2-0 defeat, no embarrassment? Obviously you do not want that, but how can you stop your players being scared, basically, of that happening again? Because it's got to be in their heads.
I haven't seen last season that we were scared there, and yeah,
that was before you lost the 7-0, right? So that's happened. So now that's happened. Do you think?
Yeah, but that is it was a bad experience, but it's not similar, and it is you start again on 0. And last year, first half, I think we played very decent, and we got hammered just before halftime, just after halftime, and then we collapsed. So yeah, that can't happen. But it was last year, and it was a different team, also all different players, for a part at least. Yeah, so yeah, we will not ignore it, but we go there and we will to win there.
Have you watched it back? Will you show it to them? Have you shown it to them to sort of point out what you know, to learn from it, basically?
No, so we know that, but I don't think it's the right thing. And last year, it was the past, and what we can change is the future. And so that's Sunday. Sunday is a new game.
Stuart.
Hi Eric, it's going to be a frantic, hostile atmosphere. How important is it for players to keep a cool head, and how important is leadership in that situation?
Yeah, but we talked about this issue the last weeks many times, and these players proved they can deal with that. So yeah, and on Sunday there's the next challenge. So that is I would say our demand. We have to do it repeatedly and on a consistent base, and yeah, that's our challenge. But we will go for that.
James.
Eric, clearly you'd wanted to be in the Champions League in the new year, but now you're not and you're out of Europe entirely. Can it be a benefit to you going forward that you're going to have more time on the training ground, you're going to have a less frantic schedule that might hopefully help injuries alleviate? Can you turn that into a positive going forward?
Yeah, I think the way you describe it, I think that's true. At least we have had so many injuries in the first part of the season, but now we have less games. So the load will be less, so that can give players the opportunities to recover, and also more time on the training pitch. But we will be fresher in the games.
So it can boost your hopes of a top 4 finish, you think?
Of course, that's a target.
Yeah.
Okay, last question in this section, Martin.
Yes, Eric, good to see you again. The press officer asked me to do the question in English, so I'll try. Could you explain to Dutch viewers why you're known in Holland as a coach, as a manager, who's always capable of having a philosophy and teaching the players and doing the game you want? But now somehow with United, it's far more complex, I think. So what makes United a nice, beautiful club, but also a very complex club?
No, it's a similar, Martin. It's not complex. We play also here 11-11, and we play, I think, very good games, very good performances. Also, the last weeks against Chelsea, against Everton, in Galatasaray for a long spell of the game, against Bayern Munich, where we were very disciplined. So I'm not so sure if your analysis is correct. We are working here on a typical style where I was always working on, but you need the players consistency in. To get routines in, you don't want to swap every time your team, and that is definitely the case. And especially we had it in the back line, where and then especially on the left side, left centre half, left fullback. Every time we have to swap there, and that's not improving the routines, and that is what you need. But then still, at a club. So in Ajax, you have to win. Here, you have to win definitely. So that is always is the demand, and for those demands, you can never run away, and I don't run away from that. And that's our obligation to win every game, because our squad is good enough. The players in the squad are good enough to put out a team who can win every game.
And is it then the history of this club that makes it so tough, the big expectations?
Yeah, but that is the expectations. That's normal. That is you know that it's a fact, and but when you start a game, you don't think about the expectations. You think about winning the game, and when you start a season, you don't think about that. Because it's a fact. The targets will be high, and so you have to construct a team what's very good, and so you have to work on all, say, the head moments of football. You have to be top of the bill in any head moment.
Last question, if you mind. Can you give the Dutch people a good Christmas message that you don't depend on the job against Liverpool about your position? Can you promise them you will be here still?
So I'm not concerned about that, and I want to win, and I want to win with my team. I want to progress the team in the right direction, and so we are here in a project. And last season we were absolutely in the right direction. In the project now we haven't met the standards we expect to have. That's the truth. But still we are in the project, and so we have a setback. But we still can everything winning in this season, and on the longer term, definitely, because the future for Man United, I think, is very good. If you see how many good players we have in this squad, how many good young players we have in this squad, and who have a really high potential to play top levels worldwide, but we have to develop that. And so I'm sure when the injury is getting back, that this team will perform better.
You can tune in to Matchday Live from 3:25 p.m. on Sunday, and we'll see you then.
So, guys, and wow, what can I say? What can I say, guys? What can I say? It's just interesting, right? It's interesting, really interesting to understand everything that Erik ten Hag was talking about just now, right? And he was just mentioning all the different issues, and there were some good questions and good stuff that they were asked, and I think that everyone needs to understand that, it's gonna be it's gonna be a long one. We're in for a situation where it's not like the manager is gonna be here just for one season. He's in a project. And as he said to everyone, right? 1 second. Right, so guys, let me hear your comments. Get in. If you guys were following through the entire press conference, I'm gonna highlight the stuff that was asked to the manager, right? So his first question was, is Harry Maguire available? What about other injuries? And Erik ten Hag's response to that is Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw are still out. They are unavailable, right? And then he was asked by the press, is Rashford available? And he replied that Rashford is available. And the guys in the press conference, these journalists were asking some really weird questions. They also asked him, how are you going to approach the game at Anfield To which Erik ten Hag's reply was, it's going to be a tough game, of course. From the last season, it's still in our memory, but we have to use that as a motivator to improve ourselves and find ways to win. It's going to be tough. And yeah, we could agree with that, with all the fans thinking that to themselves that this is going to be one of those games where we're going to be battered and we are going to lose. So Erik ten Hag has replied and said to them, he's like, I'm focusing on making individuals better. I'm focusing on the team being better and making the team play better. Good is not good enough. We need more consistency, and I will work on that. Right? And this was his reply. And he was also asked a question about Rasmus Højlund. What about Rasmus Højlund? And his reply to that was, well, Rasmus Højlund was brought to the club to solve the problem of us scoring goals. And it has been difficult. The team needs to make more chances for him, and he is doing well. I am confident that we will find him and he will get goals. Then a reporter asked him, do you envy Liverpool at the top of the table? And Ten Hag's reply is, I don't. They are in good form, but we will get there. We are working on style and playing of principles, the tactics, and this is a challenge to get there. And we have to do it and be consistent. You know, it's really weird. It's really, really weird. And then the Dutch journalist, most importantly, asked a question. He's like, why are you known? Can you explain why are you known to the Dutch people as someone who can teach your philosophy and coach players? And Erik ten Hag says, well, it's the same at this club. It's no different at Ajax. I'm not sure if your analysis is correct, because the Dutch reporter also said that, you know, he's finding it difficult here. But he said that we are working on a typical style here, and you need the players to be available consistently to get the routines in. Right? And then he went on to say, if you had to swap players, it's not improving the routines. It's like an Ajax, but a higher level here. You must win. And then he went on to say, it's our obligation to win every game. And the players in the squad are good enough for us to put out a starting 11 that can win games. I think that was a great answer to the question. And then he was asked, will you be able to tell the Dutch people that you will remain as Manchester United coach? And he laughed and he said, this is a project. We have many good young players in the squad and many good seniors, but we have to develop them and work hard on this project and carry on the form and be more consistent. Some of these questions were answered brilliantly by the manager. You know, Admiral Drex is getting in and he's saying brilliant answers as well. You know what I mean, Admiral Drex? I understand that some of these questions are always going to be difficult. And some of these journalists, they ask some weird questions like, how could you ask a question, do you envy Liverpool? I thought that was so weird. You know what I mean? And the manager has done his best, in my honest opinion, to answer the questions, right? And Drex, I don't know what your thoughts are besides that, but I believe that the manager seemed confident that he's working on something. He seems a bit disappointing about the performance of the team so far, but he doesn't seem like he's going to cry about it. He seems like he's going to work hard, right, to get that. And like Drex has said, that consistency is what we lack. God help my team. And Erik ten Hag says that, you know, the team needs to find consistency and he's going to work on it. And another important factor is that we need players, right, that could fit the system. Guys, I'm sorry about my images being so dark earlier. I'm sorry if I'm not streaming smoothly, guys. You know, it's a new setup for me. I'm working on it. You know, I thank you for joining me. You know, I'm not going to stay too long on this, but you could definitely leave your questions and everything else in the comments below. Criticize, watch the press conference in the previous chapters, you know, of this stream. Let me know what your thoughts are. Tell me what you think about the manager. The presser starts 15 minutes into the stream because there was a delay based on, some foundation information that the club wanted to put out. So you can check out the foundation bits and you can watch the Manchester press conference and see what the manager says. Guys, I hope you enjoyed the content. I hope that this was very informative to you all. And thank you for joining me. Do smash a like, leave your comments, leave your replies, leave your criticisms, leave your own opinions. And don't forget, if you didn't join me live, leave them in the non-live section, guys. Smash that like buttons. And if you're new, hit that subscribe button. Help the channel grow. Move on to everyone and the next one. Drex is coming in right before we leave. And Drex is saying, he is really sad about the injuries. You can tell he feels frustrated about it, but won't stay on it or use it as an excuse. And that's the biggest factor, Drex. Though this is the one reason why I'm telling every single fan we need to back Erik ten Hag. Because Erik ten Hag does not make excuses for the problems. He tries to solve them. You know what I mean? Other managers are talking about they have injuries, and they have less than 5 players injured. And their team are losing games. Erik ten Hag has started a season with 16 players injured. Right now, we've had our 27th injury, and wow, guys, there's only 26 squad players. Imagine that, So it's been a difficult one, but the manager seems up for the battle. And guys, thank you for joining me. Drex, it's been a good one, my guy. Later on, let's do a review to this press conference and revise all the questions, comments, and responses from those getting in the chat in the non-live and live section, guys. Thank you very much for joining me. It's been your boy, Mark and MUFC, with the Managers Press Conference, Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag, guys. Enjoy your evening. It's been my pleasure. Thank you. And I hope you all have a great day. And we are out, guys.
Oh.